Digital podcast. Hello, baby. Welcome to the show. Today, we got some tech for you. We got some gaming for you. Twitch has been handing out DMCA strikes. Billy Mitchell lost his lawsuit against Twin Galaxies. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Alex Hutchinson from Bang Bang Click put out a take on the future of streaming, possibly. And then our cover story, Cyberpunk 2077, has been delayed yet again. I believe this is the 5th time. And in tech, we have some RTX 3070 stuff, some Ryzen rumors, some rumors, other rumors, and we're going to get into the show. What's up, everyone? Bring on the co-hosts. What's going on, dudes? I forgot we have a website. Let me put the website up.
Why?
What, you don't like this? Let's welcome Jerry on to the show, everyone. Jerry and Doobie, good morning.
Every week, it's just something new and slightly worse, like every time.
October 26th.
Bye.
Cyberpunk 2077 guaranteed to through a tweet, official confirmation that it will not be delayed. Less than 24 hours later. I feel bad for that guy actually who tweeted at them like, "Hey, before I take time off of work, this is for sure coming out."
I wonder if you can
And they
sue
tweeted
them.
at him, full confirmation. I'm like, if I'm that dude, I'm like, at this point, you all motherfuckers owe me a game.
Yeah, I wonder if you can like somehow get something out of that. I'm sure they'll give it to him.
That tweet blew up too. Like that full confirmation tweet blew up, and I laughed at it. But I mean, I kind of feel bad for the guy taking time off, actively asking them, and you get full confirmation. Like,
Yeah,
that sucks.
I don't know. I like what else. All right, we'll get into it. We will get into it. Actually, might as well. We should just jump into it because have you guys been playing anything new?
Well,
Yes, actually. I actually have. I caved. I knew I shouldn't have, but I caved.
Oh, what'd you cave? What'd you do?
About NHL 21.
Oh, you did. We are EA stands. We are EA shills. At the end of the day,
They finally updated the rosters, so I need Lucas Raymond on my team. I need the new updated rosters. We're not having look, dude.
Well, what was the last one that you
I
had?
haven't seen a Detroit Red Wings hockey game since March, and I'm probably not going to see one again until probably next March. So this is all I got at the moment.
What was the last NHL that you had? Did you have 20
Yeah.
or 19, I guess?
Yeah.
Do you have the last one? All right. Well,
yes. I have yes.
Hey man, it happens. to the best of us.
NHL is the only one that I'll actually buy because
That's your guilty pleasure.
Yeah, that's like the only sport where I'm like, yes, I need the rosters.
Yeah. I don't know what the fuck is going on with my audio.
It's NHL. Like gameplay wise, it's slightly better. It's nothing groundbreaking. Be a Pro is slightly better. Like they made a bunch of hubbub about how it's improved and this or that. It's kind of is. It has more cool visuals, but it has a meaningless gameplay like mini game, and otherwise it's the same shit. Some ways it's actually worse because I really like that you used to be able to play through an entire minor league season, and you can't do that anymore. You can only do the playoffs or jump to a top team. So like getting into that lore of a character, you can't do anymore. Franchise mode is fun. It's not that different. The trade deadline thing's dumb, honestly. The trades themselves are horribly balanced. And like that, not that they've ever been balanced well, but like this year's so far is something absolutely special because of this new trade deadline thing. This whole mechanic. Like I've been trading 78 rated overall fourth line players for like first round draft picks plus. So it's something. But overall, it's fun. I want to buy it for $60. Wait till it's $30. I caved, dude.
fun. I can't hear Wayne at all.
Nah.
I see him talking. Anyway,
Yeah.
as far as new games go, since Wayne's gonna deal with his tech issues, I'm gonna start it. I was gonna start it 2 weeks, but I'm gonna start it next week because like the wait for 2 weeks is gonna be too much. But my special edition of Trails of Cold Steel 4 came in. This is the box.
Mic check. Mic check.
There you go. We hear you now.
Oh.
But yeah. They originally told us that the physical, like limited editions, were going to be delayed because of some kind of shipping issue. Turns out that a lot of people decided to double dip and buy it digitally because there was like a weird, I guess, sale price that was wrong, where the deluxe digital edition was $45 that came with like $30 worth of DLC. There was a price error. And a lot of people were like, oh, well, I'm just going to grab that. And then when my limited edition comes in, it'll be whatever. Or they'll double dip. Well, the funny story is the shipping issues got corrected and everyone got their stuff a day early, like, which is nice with these places when you get them. You can sometimes get your stuff like before release date. And the preload is still happening. People who bought their digital deluxe versions cannot play the game because it will not load. It just won't preload. The game came out already, and it still won't preload. But if you buy the game right now, it loads fine digitally. But for some reason, if you've already pre-ordered it digitally, you still can't play it. Yeah, reminder, this is one of the problems you might run into with an all-digital future.
Yeah, that sounds odd.
I was going to wait 2 weeks, but because I only play like 3 hours a day, and I know a lot of people who do watch my channel that are interested in this, they're already going to be like 50 hours in by the time I start it next week. So I'm just going to start it next week because 2 weeks is too much for me to wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, the last game ended on a cliffhanger. I've been waiting months, so.
I hear you. Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Anime weeb shit.
I've been playing Apex again. Trying to pick up a little bit of before the new hero or legend
Well, the
comes
new
out.
map as well. A whole new map is coming as well.
Oh, right.
As well as the new legends, which, I mean, don't get me wrong, I still play Apex. Last I checked, I'm at like 980 hours played.
Yeah.
Which I have a problem. I don't know. There's some stuff with that game that I still like, but like it's just I almost play it out of just the fact that like it's my fallback game to play if I don't have anything to play.
Well, it's fun. It's just it's so unbalanced. I think they really need to fix the balance of the game. There's like two good weapons. Any other weapon, you just don't. There's no point in using it.
It depends. I mean, the devotion is always a devotion with a turbocharger is just. There's a reason why they put it into the care package, and then they took it out and put the R99 in the care package.
Yeah, I think that was a terrible idea.
I think they both should be in the care package.
Yeah, I think
there needs to be more care package weapons because right now, like care packages. The Kraber is great because it just has the ability to just one-shot people as a sniper. The R99 and Devotion's not bad. The most the what do you call it? What's the Peacekeeper?
Yeah.
I would rather have a Mastiff or a double tap Ava 8 over that gun because you have to charge it.
I don't know. I was playing and I was just.
I feel like care packages need more variety for you to make them worth your while to go after. I think they should be resources.
After playing Duty's Warzone a lot, I was like, the time to kill is just way too long. It just feels like it's just too long.
Well, that's the problem is they tried to ramp it up. That's why they did the changes with the shields. And then the community bitched about it because a lot of people were getting killed too quickly and they whined like babies because they weren't any good. And Apex was like, "Oh, we're sorry. We're going to revert the changes."
Yeah.
They tried to make it a faster time to kill. But the people who just, have a kill death ratio of 0.15 all decided that, nope.
Yeah, I found it was just like, I was just like, I don't know. Because like sniping is basically useless unless you have a Kraber. And then
I mean, it's situational, really, because that's one of the issues. Is like, are you gonna run a sniper? Like you can grab it, but you might find yourself in a position where you're not gonna get any use out of it. But you might find yourself in a really good position where I've had games where the circle is there's high elevation, you're able to establish a perimeter, and then you just kind of snipe everybody.
I don't know. I've been enjoying it because I do like all the new stuff. I haven't played it since before the map has changed at all. It was really the last time I played it.
Yeah, the new legend I don't like at all. I'm not a fan of Rampart. It's too slow.
Oh, I think it's pretty cool. I like the new. I like all the legends. I think they do. I think I like. I like how their skills are balanced. I just don't like how the weapons are balanced and everything takes too long and you only get like, unless you're with like a really. Everyone sucks in the game. You're always partnered with terrible people unless you play with people that you know.
Absolutely.
Like everyone's so bad.
And now
everyone,
with crossplay beta enabled, if I see controller, I see console player, I'm just like,
I just leave. It's just you get like 1 or 2 kills with them, and if you have a good team, you can get at least like 10 to 12 kills, and that's been my experience. Is like,
yeah, if I got a good team, like we're pretty set. Like I'm capable enough that on a good team, even as the weakest link, we're gonna win.
yeah,
But if I'm supposed to be the bell cow, it's not happening.
yeah, it's been interesting. But I've also been playing Age of Empires 3, which has been it's actually been pretty fucking fun. Playing some I mean, I guess it's old school. I was a huge AoE 2 fan. I also played a lot of Age of Mythology when that was around. And I've never played Age of Empires 3, so this was on Games Pass, so I loaded it up and I've been having a good time. There's so many, like, there's a lot to the game that I want to dig into. But I'll probably give like a more thorough review next week or in a couple of weeks once I dug my heels into it.
I might play it some more. I downloaded it, but I haven't really played it.
It's pretty cool. It's definitely different from AoE 2 and like from like the StarCraft, Warcraft vibe that I know of in RTS. But it's still pretty fun. Oh, excuse me, guys. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say though, if now that you guys are back on Apex, at least you're not on a dirty fucking Valorant player.
I tried that game and
I'd rather just play Counter-Strike.
I would rather play Counter-Strike.
Yeah, me too. I'd rather play Counter-Strike.
No, a bunch of my friends have been playing it, so I'll play it with them like occasionally, but the entire time it's just like, why?
I don't even know why I still have it installed on my computer. It's still installed. I just
delete it, dude. It's got that stupid fucking like security thing.
Yeah. All I mean to do it's Riot. Never give them money.
To be fair, so does Genshin Impact, and I've been playing that nonstop.
Oh, I haven't played that since the last time we talked about it.
The new banner went up, and I pulled and already got the.
How are you pulling all this shit? I don't pull shit in that game.
Well,
you spent $500.
I did spend the $5. Hold on. I enjoy the game. I enjoy the game enough that I'm willing to pay them $5.
The gotcha system got them.
Bye.
You get the.
That's how it starts. You start with $5 this week.
Yeah.
Well, it was the monthly, their monthly pass thing.
Sure, the monthly pass. Right.
But then you do your dailies, which gets you about 100 Prima Gems. Then there's a bunch of just quests that I just do for Prima Gems. Then they give you mail, of course. Every banner, there's always going to be here's a free 300 of them.
Yeah.
And you just save up until you have enough for a 10 pull.
I've pulled
it's not like I'm pulling every day.
I pulled a bunch of 10 pulls. I got nothing. I got no 5 stars with them or 4 stars, whatever.
Well, yeah, that's because it's a 0.6.
Yeah, I had fucking
the rate's awful.
I had a crazy. It's stupid.
The rate's awful.
Yeah, but didn't you pull? Didn't you pull a 4-star or was it a 5-star in the beginning?
When you do. No, I re-rolled twice, so
that's still good.
3 different accounts.
That's still fucking crazy lucky.
But
3 accounts that you're spending money on.
Well, certain banners do have higher rates. So the first time you pull a 5-star, it's a 50% that it'll be the banner, the character on the banner, like how it was Venti before. Now it's I think Klee. But I got that one first try. Man, sometimes you're just lucky. That's how they get you.
That's how they get you. They don't get
And they
me.
also get you with that boosted odds. I mean, it was a 50%, but that was the thing is like, because it's a boosted odd of 50%, I think it's still a 0.6 to get the 5-star, but when it from there it's a 50% if you get the banner, or you're gonna get some other random 5-star. And the fun thing is it's a 0.6 for a 5-star, but it's a 0.3 for a character because it's a 50-50 if you get a character or if you get a weapon, because there's 5-star weapons.
Yeah.
So it's really a 0.3 to get a 5-star character.
It's annoying. I'm over it.
Oh yeah, the rates are trash. I'm not gonna defend the rates.
I'm over it.
I will say that the game itself is I enjoy playing the game. I just want them to eventually put out more content and to do something with its co-op.
Yeah, that would be nice.
PvP would actually be dope in that game. It would probably be really broken.
It would
but
be pay to
fun.
win, wouldn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
there's
that's
no
why I'm
point.
like, no. Why would you ever want PvP in a game where you only get characters by spending money?
Well, you don't get characters by always spending money. You get some characters are locked behind money, but you get a lot
Okay,
of
but
characters.
no, but it's
in
the
story.
same. It's the same problem I have with like HUT and
The
shit
OP
bullshit
characters,
like that.
though, the OP characters for a while, Venti, who you could only get through polls, was considered the best character.
Yeah, but they would always
Yeah.
incentivize
It's yeah,
the better
like,
character.
No, hell, fucking no.
Yeah.
Like if you actually do that, then congratulations, you're a scum game.
I do want
like-
full on like better like actual dungeons with actual like raids,
Oh yeah, like all that stuff would be great.
not just here's a co-op boss fight.
Yeah, I don't know. I just haven't been motivated to check it out again. But I still have it on my computer, so maybe I'll check it out soon.
Yeah, their model also of updating is going to be like every 5 weeks, and I think that's a little.
Are you playing on
that's a
PC or
little
your
slow.
phone?
Well, I do my dailies on
Well-
my phone at work when I go on my break, because I just walk and play, which is nice because 30 minutes of walking means I'm playing for 30 minutes, but I'm also walking.
How, like, what size are there content updates they're talking about?
I think new areas and new like story quests, like quest lines.
Okay, 5 weeks is not too slow for that.
We live in an age where you got to be pushing out content.
Nah.
Yeah, but you
All
haven't
right,
played
sorry.
it.
Prepare to be disappointed, I guess. Then
You
That's
haven't
the thing,
played it. It does.
Is your
Well-
base game good enough, and is your update good enough to keep players 5 weeks entertained until the next update?
Yeah, you can like see everything you need to see in like a couple weeks in that game. That's the problem with it. It's not big enough currently that like there does need to be some more stuff going on.
Yeah,
and I mean
And
that's
I guess-
fine, but I'm just saying if your development timeline is 5 weeks, you are getting jack shit. You are
Yeah.
getting jack shit added to that game.
Yeah, we'll see. They
Like
they
if
do
you're
add,
expecting
like, a
it
lot
to
of
like
those,
magically double, like quadruple in size over the next year from these 5 week updates, you're not.
yeah,
You're not.
yeah, that's
yeah.
why it's gonna probably die off relatively quickly to where it's just the core whalers.
Well, it's
like
still
every
pretty
other flavor
successful.
of the week.
It's still pretty successful right now.
Oh, it's still, yeah. I mean, it's gonna be successful for a good stretch of time.
Yeah, they're doing pretty good. But no way, I can't believe you spent money on it. You
Those
should
games
be.
are also, I mean, that's with the whalers. It's how any gacha game makes its money.
Yeah. All right, let's get into the news. Let's jump into it first with Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk news is here, guys. Bad news, everyone. It's been delayed again. Let me bring up their actual tweet here. So this is what they said. Today, we've decided to move the release date of Cyberpunk 2077 by 21 days. The new release date is December 10th. Why? Why do you guys think this is? Most likely there are emotions and questions in your head, so first and foremost, please accept our humble apologies. The biggest challenge for us right now is shipping a game on current gen, next gen, and PC at the same time, which requires us to prepare and test 9 versions of it. Xbox One X compatibility on Xbox Series S, X, PS4, PS4 Pro compatibility on PS5, PC, Stadia, while working from home. Since Cyberpunk 2077 evolved towards being a next-gen title somewhere along the way, we need to make sure everything works well and every version runs smoothly. We're aware it might seem unrealistic when someone says 21 days can make any difference in such a massive and complex game, but they really do. I don't believe them. Some of you might also be wondering what the words mean in light of us saying we've achieved Gold Masters some time ago. Passing certification or going gold means the game is ready, can be completed, and has all content in it. But it doesn't mean we stop working on it and raising the quality bar. On the contrary, this is the time where many improvements are being made, which will then be distributed via day 0 patch. This is the time period we undercalculated. We feel we have an amazing game on our hands and are willing to make every decision, even the hardest ones, if it ultimately leads you to getting a video game you fall in love with. Yours, Adam Podowski. So this is my opinion on it. They probably realized, look, we have a day 0 patch or a day 1 patch. That's going to be pretty big, but we can probably squeak out a few more weeks and no one's going to be up in arms about it because there's really nothing else coming out. Everyone's just waiting on Cyberpunk. In terms of like a huge release like this, they're commanding it. And I think that ultimately they might even push it back like another couple of weeks. I honestly don't think December 10th is the day we're going to see it. Maybe the week after. I don't know. Maybe December 10th. Maybe they say a couple more days. Who knows? But it's definitely going to be before the holidays. They're really getting close. Like December 10th is like, I guess like maybe you have one more week for like that holiday cutoff, and then you're kind of missing that holiday. You're missing those holiday gifts, and then at that point, who knows when the fuck it'll come out? If they say we're not gonna make the date here, like it could be pushed until the next year. But ultimately, I think they're just like, look, we're commanding right now this entire space, so we might as well just. And whenever we're ready, like we're just not ready right now, so fuck it. We'll take a couple hits on the chin from PR, but no such thing as bad
Their PR has been taking more than a couple hits from just this. There was the crunch problem.
Yeah. But I don't think that translates to sales. Delay. I don't think it'll translate to sales. Like everyone's still gonna get it. You know what I mean? It's still gonna be like no one that was thinking about getting it is gonna be like, oh, it's delayed again. I'm never gonna play this game. You know what I mean? Like this is just gonna sell bonkers anyway.
And we live in the realistic world where even if crunch outrages you, either one, you hypocritically buy it still, or two, there's enough Joe Schmoes that don't give a fuck. Or don't even know, but also, even if they did know, they wouldn't give a fuck.
Yeah. There's also the third world where I live in that's also the most practical world where, hey, dude, if you want to make me a quality product, I am willing to wait.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's that too.
Like, I don't know. That was going off the PR thing. Like, that's a foreign concept to me that delaying a game is an inherently bad thing, I guess.
That's why I think the first delay was. I mean, the first delay was definitely met with. And that was the time where we all still believed because they said it that we're not doing crunch. So it's like, oh well, this is the cost of what it takes for no crunch. We're gonna let you guys, delay it as far as you need to. Have a good game out. It was the time they were releasing it was already like a bit of a busy period with, I think, Final Fantasy VII Remake. There was a few other things. But now this time around, it's like, all right, so you're pushing it 21 days. All right, that's 3 more weeks of 100-hour work weeks.
Is this their 5th delay?
I'm not even sure at this point. It's definitely, I mean, it's not their longest because that March one was the longest where they delayed it by 6 months.
Yeah, I think this is like their 5th delay. The problem with this one, it was like this. They said multiple times like it's coming out on this day. I don't know why they dug themselves a hole.
Full confirmation.
That was a stupid move.
But I'm gonna also counter argue that this is a COVID timeline and multiple games have gotten delayed because guess what? Everyone has to work from home now.
Yeah, I don't think anyone really blames them. I think they're just like. It's a meme at this point. It's like, are we ever going to see this game? Like, what's going on here? Like, we saw that they weren't crunching, and now they're crunching, and now it's definitely coming out, and now it's not coming out, and now it's December 10th. So we're just kind of at the whim of them. And the funny thing is like, they don't even really, it doesn't even matter. Like, I still think that's what the ultimately the bottom line is. They went into the marketing department with each other. They had their table read, and they were like, look, it doesn't matter. Let's just fucking delay it. We need a couple more days. We're going to get a couple days out of it. You know, what are they gonna do? Not get the game? Let me see what this is here. What is this that you sent me here, Doobie?
Full confirmation.
Oh, this is the tweet. Okay. Yeah, this is the tweet. Cyberpunk, hi. Before I book the 19th off work tomorrow. This was yesterday.
This was not even 24 hours ago.
This was yesterday. Hi, before I book the 19th off of work tomorrow, can I have full confirmation the game is going to come out that day? No take backsies. Full confirmation. Well, flew. Oh, well, fuck. And then they wrote 6 hours later. And then the gif of Ernie. The gif of Bert. Wow. And then, yeah. We did send some stuff already. We feel like we need to send more. Yes, was the first things that came to mind. You better be sending him a free copy. So he will be getting some stuff. That's pretty cool. Man. Full confirmation. Well, I just gotta wonder like exactly what's going on there. They looking stuff down. Now Jason Schreier writes 2077 getting a 3-week delay is unusual, but probably won't change much for the developers, many whom were going to be crunching into December anyway for post-launch patch. But I sure do hope reality is becoming clearer to those who tried to deny it. Look, a CDPR dev told me recently they just clocked a 100-hour week. Another former dev told me they just saw some of their friends there and they looked physically ill. Kindly get the fuck out with the but I work long hours too responses. Now, I don't know about 100-hour work week. I know that like 100 hours isn't unheard of. Like that is kind of it's been done before, but
it's also the joy of working from home.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah, I guess we all work 100-hour work weeks when we all work from home. I guess that's a good point. And then saying they look physically ill. They're definitely crunching these guys. But I want to know to what extent. Like, I would like to know to what extent. We won't find out until the game is released, obviously. We'll know. Once we open that game up and we see how massive it is and how clean it kind of runs, then we'll know if it was worth it or not.
I will say I'm loving the memes. I like just even companies versus companies. Arc Systems putting out a tweet that was Guilty Gear.
Yeah,
it just says the yellow background. It says, "Hey everybody, today we've decided to put the Guilty Gear Strive logo on a yellow background."
Yeah, probably fucking freak some people out thinking.
Oh, absolutely.
Wait, did they delete it? I can't find it.
No, I have it.
Hold on, let me see.
In fairness, though, like it's
funny.
It is a very pleasing shade of yellow.
Oh, it is very pleasing.
There it is.
I like how they caption it with a
hashtag anxiety.
Hashtag anxiety.
Yeah,
it's so good.
That is an anxiety. I don't know. That's an anxiety-giving yellow, in my opinion. Now it gives me anxiety.
I think because there's no text.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, so we gotta wait a couple more weeks, I guess.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
I mean, there's nothing in December really at this point.
Is there anything at all like from here on out? What's next?
Well, no, November has some
it
stuff.
Has
I know
the
Hyrule
new console
Warriors.
launches with no games for them.
Oh yeah, absolutely no games. Hyrule Warriors, which is like the only game on Switch at this point, I guess.
Are people looking
World
forward
of
to
Warcraft
that?
at TBD?
I mean, the people that like Hyrule Warriors 1 and people who like those kinds of games are excited, but I mean, I don't know how well it's gonna sell.
I mean, in all fairness, World of Warcraft at some point, I literally should be playing that right now. Its launch time was literally an hour ago, but that's delayed till who knows?
What is it? An expansion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah, Path of
there
Exile
will
came
be
out.
stuff, but like the other reason why I'm not that worried is there's still a lot of good games that I haven't even gotten to yet, and there's still Among Us.
Yeah, you guys haven't played a lot of the AAA titles from this year, right? You guys haven't played Last of Us. What else has come out? Ghost of Tsushima.
I need to. That's when I really need to. I'm waiting for it to be on sale.
Just get it, dude. It's fucking good, man. It's so good.
Yeah, and like I don't know. I need more. If it's not a PC game, I'm not going out of my way to get it if it's not on sale, just because my PlayStation stays hooked up to my TV, and my TV stays hooked up to whatever my girlfriend is watching.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
We'll say still a big fan of Hades so far.
I definitely play more console games since I moved some of my consoles to my monitors here. They
Yeah.
sit right underneath
Well,
my
no,
computer
that if I
monitor.
buy the Xbox and the PlayStation, one of them's that's gonna be the deal with one of them. But
Yeah.
until then, like, I'll play it eventually.
Yeah, I
She
would
buys more
definitely.
games. She buys more PS4 games than I do.
Oh, I bet. I definitely recommend Last of Us and Ghost of Tsushima. Those are some really groundbreaking titles. There were some fun games. And then we have Cyberpunk. So yeah, you guys are in luck. If you haven't played any like AAA, if you're into AAA's, we're just waiting for Cyberpunk at this point. They're
I'm
pretty
into
much done with
AAA's. I'm
everything.
just usually into AAA's for like 20-30 bucks, just
Yeah,
because.
you just get them whenever you can get them on sale.
Yeah,
I
unless
mean,
it's
I mostly do that because I I'm not gonna go out of my way and get a game that I actually want to play spoiled for me. But then also the flip side is like, if it's a single player experience, like, yeah, I'm gonna buy that whenever I feel like playing that.
Yeah, I hear
But
you.
if it's like a multiplayer experience, no, that's the one I have to buy ASAP. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for me it's like unless it's something I'm like desperately wanting to play, like I might pick up Spider-Man Miles Morales on PS4, even though
Oh, I'm definitely getting that. When does that come out?
I think that's
November.
November as well, isn't it?
Yeah, November. Sometime in November. Who knows? Maybe it'll get
It's coming to
delayed.
PS4, so at least I believe it's coming to PS4.
Yep.
If it comes to PS4, I'll buy it, but I'm not buying a PS5 for it.
Yeah, no, I mean, where are you gonna find a PS5 right now anyway?
Yeah, that's like what has
Dude,
been
that
annoying.
all of that shit is wild to me, and I think it's mostly COVID helping it out. But like the fact that it is so hard to get a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox when
Or an
there's no fucking
RTX
games.
or fucking anything. You can't get anything these days. It's really
Well, I mean
tough.
that is true for like the RTX and stuff, but like, hey, at least that's a graphics card. At least it goes into your computer and improves what you have. We're talking about a console that's not out yet that literally has one game you can play for it.
Yeah, yeah, you can't get them. Yep. And then like yeah, it's just been. I guess everyone's just locked. Like they're just sitting at home bored and fuck it. I'll just get this. I have a few extra $100 from COVID. Let's just fucking
I
get a
mean, if I had a
PlayStation
few
or
extra
whatever.
$100, my suggestion would be wait on the new consoles. Spend that money on games that you can actually play.
Yeah, that's a good point. There's a
Like,
lot of great games that I'm sure a lot of you guys haven't played.
yeah, like that's kind of why I'm fine with Cyberpunk
You know
being
what?
delayed, because it's like, dude, there's still Game Pass. I haven't even made it through like a tenth of it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But that's not even that. That's like shit, dude. I still haven't even touched Final Fantasy. I
Yeah.
still haven't even touched a shit ton of games that came out this year because I'm work, and then afterwards, it's like I could spend more money on games. I'd
Yeah.
rather do that than buy a console for Spider-Man Miles Morales or Bugs Life or whatever the fuck.
No, that's definitely a good point. There's no
You're
reason
not
to
excited
get 'em
for
right
Bug Snacks?
Bug Snacks, excuse
Bug
me.
Snatch?
Yeah, dude.
now. Bug Snatch?
No, I mean, I'm sure I'll love Bug Snacks in like 3 years when I finally buy the console when there's actually games made for it.
This popping is driving me insane. I don't know where it's coming from. I hope the audience doesn't hear it. All right, well, let's get into this because I kind of have a few different takes on this. So this is from Alex Hutchinson. This is a Google Stadia. I don't know if he was a former Google Stadia consultant,
No, he's the creative director of Google Stadia.
creative director of Google Stadia. It doesn't say it in his bio anymore for some reason.
Google distanced themselves away from him after this. So
I wonder why. It doesn't make much sense. He's also, I guess, he worked on Journey to Savage Planet, which I don't know what that is, but he also worked on Far Cry 4, Assassin's Creed 3, Spore, Sims 2, and etc. All right, so this was his tweet here, which got which got ratioed pretty much. Streamers worried about getting their content pulled because they used music they didn't pay. Well, I guess all right. Well, let's start with the Twitch DMCA thing because that starts first. So Twitch streamers are getting DMCA takedown notices again. This is the second time that a mass sort of like flagging went down on Twitch. This is from Slasher. The Twitch DMCA bloodbath has begun as hundreds of partnered streamers have received emails from Twitch as DMCA takedown notifications. Quote, we are writing to inform you that our channel is subject to one of the more DMCA takedown notifications and that the content identified has been deleted. We recognize that by deleting this content, we are not giving you the option to file our counter notification or seek a retraction from the rights holder. In consideration of this, we have processed these notifications and are issuing you a one-time warning to give you the chance to learn about copyright law and the tools available to manage the content on your channel. And this led a lot of Twitch streamers to essentially delete their VODs. And if they haven't, they're probably going to start deleting their VODs to avoid anything like this.
Except the biggest ones aren't going to.
Well, I remember Pokimane said she was going to. Shit, that was in response to someone else.
A bunch of others, but I know like Ludwig and a bunch of others aren't, just because
Why?
their
Like, why would you?
logic and reasoning is this is an issue Twitch has to solve, even though Twitch is trying to pass the liability onto the streamers.
Right.
And their argument around that is basically, hey, if Twitch doesn't solve this and all, 75 of the top 100 streamers gets banned from Twitch, well, rip Twitch anyway. So why am I going to save my Twitch presence if Twitch is going to die from this anyways?
Yeah, that makes sense. That does make sense. Now I wonder if Twitch is going to react in a way where it would be detrimental to them for not doing that. Like, are they going to start banning channels for that, or taking channels like completely down for that?
Yeah, they have a three strike system now.
Oh, they do?
Yep.
Yeah. So, and the biggest problem is that Twitch doesn't notify you exactly what happened. They don't tell you
Which is why there is conspiracy theories also, because you're right. They're not notifying what clip, song, whatever triggered this DMCA takedown process, which is causing its own controversy and also conspiracy theories, because legally through DMCA you have to be informed of why you are receiving a DMCA.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
it doesn't, it's almost like Twitch is kind of panicking, and like you said, they're putting the onus on the streamers when it's there's no liability for the streamers. I mean, most streamers...
legally, yes, there is. Legally, the liability is on the streamer. It's not on Twitch, because Twitch operates under safe harbor.
Yeah, sure, but will we see some sort of reaction where these companies are going to go after these people, or are they going to go and, I guess, put it onto Twitch and try to act as if, because the same kind of thing happened with YouTube, remember?
We're talking about the music industry. Yes, the answer is yes. They will gladly sue anyone.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I think what we're going to see is the same sort of situation with YouTube, where it's just like they're going to implement some weird sort of system that's going to, I don't know.
Well, that's what they've been working on for like the last couple of years. The issue is it's not good enough, and it's going to take years to get good enough. Because like the same situation did really happen with YouTube, and that's why YouTube spent like 9 years now working on Content ID. And that's why Content ID is actually finally good, is because they've had the time to do it.
It's good. It's good for the companies. It's good for the companies that are going to be in this flagging system.
Okay, yes. I mean, as an actual algorithm for flagging something, it's actually probably
it does a good job. Yeah, it does a good job at like, even like videos that you have, like it'll tell me when like someone's shut the fuck up.
It can catch you humming a song. You know what I mean? Like, it's actually, on a technical standpoint, it's actually kind of phenomenal.
I'm just waiting for the live takedowns. Yeah.
Right. That's the hard part, and that's where Twitch is in a different boat, basically, is because YouTube has the benefit of, hey, you upload content here, we can go through it before we publish it. Publish it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is are the live takedowns, like, because we already know the issues of copyright through YouTube, where there literally could be nothing that's worth copywriting, but somebody somewhere says, oh, this audio clip here, even though I can't argue it, we're going to throw a claim in from some random company that saying it's some kind of song that if you Google, you can't even find that song. And since their prime instinct is to go, okay, yeah, we copyright claim issued, and then you have 30 days to fight it, whatever. How is a live takedown? Like, if you're playing The Legend of Zelda, is that dude who has, for some reason, the copyright claim of The Legend of Zelda in his hip-hop trap remix that gets copyright claimed all the time on YouTube, could he just shut your stream down because you're playing Legend of Zelda? That live takedowns are going to be weird.
Yeah, I think we're still a bit away from them there, because while I also think Twitch's bot isn't good enough for that, I don't know if everyone else's bot has caught up to that either for live, like for live spur of the moment being able to do that.
And I think what you're gonna end up
But-
having is like people who do like music and stuff, where they do want to violate these copyright claims. They're just not gonna have VODs. They're just gonna go live and they're gonna.
No, that is the future we're heading to. Really is.
And then these music
most-
companies are just gonna end up suing Twitch. That's what's gonna happen. I mean, it's gonna end up going onto Twitch because
right,
they'll be like,
but
look,
that's
well, you're not
that's
taking
why
down
Twitch is
any of
doing
this.
this.
Yeah, they have
This
to go
is-
after the VODs because that's where,
Right.
because it's like the replay stuff. It's like that's where a lot of that issue comes from. And then once it starts going into lives where, you know, these companies are like, you're still taking the music and it's still going up on live, they're just not VODing them. You know, we're going to start to see Twitch is going to start to take some action there. They're going to have to.
Yes, and that is the line that they're going to have to dance basically, and that's why I think they're sending this out, because right now they're operating under safe harbor, and that's why they're sending out this email, for example, is to operate under safe harbor that puts the liability and onus on the individual streamer using the platform and not on Twitch. So that's how they're going to defend themselves on this tightrope walk.
I don't know. Can
But
they ever?
to keep that, they have to prove that they are making an effort and doing what they can to make sure that's going above water.
Yeah. You know, I'm wondering if they will ever be able to come out in the next like 5 years. We'll just put that timeline on it. If they can come out with like a live tagging algorithm, that would be pretty intense, man. That scans their entire live platform for anyone that's some crazy shit.
Yeah, no, that's where we're going towards.
Yeah.
But I mean, to be fair, on the safe side, like if it's 2020, if you haven't realized, hey, you shouldn't probably be playing copyrighted shit yet, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if you are, then just don't VOD it. That's at the end of the day. Because, like, it sucks. Like, we all want to listen to music on our streams, and we all want to fucking play a clip of something that we're showing. Some channels make it like that's their entire channel, and I guess that's where that's a little bit different. But
That's
just don't
getting in
VOD it
trouble,
because you're just gonna get your shit taken down. I guess I didn't know that there's a strike system now.
Yeah,
But I'm assuming
but that's
that would
also
fuck you
going in
too.
because that's what their bot has done so far is it's just muted parts of the stream, and Twitch thought that would be okay.
Yeah,
But
that's
it's
what I
sounding-
relied on when I did the music stuff. I was like, oh, they'll just mute it, and then you're good.
Right, but what it's sounding like is that might not be good enough. So that's why they're trying to push towards people deleting bots and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, delete them.
But so related to that, it does kind of suck. That is kind of scary, but it's also weird because, like I said, no one that I know of has like received a notification that you would in a DMCA takedown request of this is why.
Right.
I haven't seen anyone actually get that. This is what you did.
Yeah, I haven't seen that either. It's just like a notification.
And then Twitch has also magically launched a streaming music service the same day.
Oh, did they?
Incidents? Absolutely not.
What's it called?
God, what was it? Soundboard? No.
So, yeah, it's something like that. Soundboard sounds right. Soundwave
Soundtrack?
or something.
Soundtrack?
Soundtrack.
Soundtrack, that's what it is.
Interesting. Rights clear music. Okay. That makes
But
sense.
as I say, I don't know. To me, it's one of those things where it's like, for
Well, what's
me,
this article?
for one thing, the little that I stream, I don't give a shit. I'm not gonna listen to copyrighted music anyway. If I'm gonna listen to music, I'll pay the $5 a month for Monster Cat. It's good music, and you're in the clear.
Yeah, I have Epidemic.
Like-
I have an Epidemic license, and it's great.
Like that's great. Like I like Epidemic more for Monster Cat and Epidemic are kind of different because Epidemic has a lot of good stuff for like YouTube content.
Yeah.
But there's Monster Cat is the opposite where it's not really good for, I mean, it's okay for YouTube music. A lot of people have used it as YouTube music, but it's more just good. It's meant to be good listen to music, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know.
lot of
I haven't listened to Monster Cat.
Like it's meant as music first, and I think it's more built towards Twitch,
Yeah.
for example, and stuff like that, where it's just here's music in the background instead of like I want an inspirational crescendo for this part of my video.
You know,
what I
if
mean?
these music companies got their head out of their ass which they'll never do because, I mean, everyone knows the music industry is terrible and they've always been terrible. They're so slow to come up with innovations. But anyways, they would come out with that. They would come out with their own service that was like that. Like,
Yeah.
you know how many streamers would pay like $50 a month if they could stream some of their favorite, the top, 20 tracks in their label or something. They would pay so much. There would be so many streamers that would do that. And they're not going to do it because they will have to have every nickel and dime and penny. And they need to know where it all goes, and they want to make sure they control it all, and that the artist doesn't get a fucking cent of it. It's such a
And
scam.
they won't
yeah,
do that too because
yeah.
music licensing's way more than that for normal use.
Who doesn't
Yeah.
love the RIAA?
Oh my god, it's such a scam. These artists need to just listen. Do what 21 Savage did and just go to Twitter and be like, yeah, you can use my music. Just fucking let them have it. Who gives a fuck?
Dude, honestly, I've actually slowly been getting into more weird versions of K-pop, and it's literally just because like a bunch
It's
of
licensed?
I know of a bunch
Free license?
licensing. Yeah, it's licensing. It's like there's K-pop artists and groups who have their their band or whatever is licensed, obviously, et cetera, et cetera. But they've just been doing solo projects of just like, no, please use this for free. Like, I don't give a shit. I make millions of dollars, but I want to make good music for you to listen to and use on stream for free.
Yeah.
I,
And even if they
I
charge
use-
like
I
five,
use-
charge $5-10 if you want for it or whatever you want. Like, anyone would pay that because everyone's sick of this like licensing, copyright strikes.
I
bullshit.
use only 3 sources for my music. Chill Hop Records, which you just have to essentially sign an agreement with them. You don't have to pay anything. They just want you to put an advertisement you give credit.
Yeah.
OC Remix, which is a video game remix site that has over 3,000 tracks. Same thing. They just want you to have credits. Whenever I play these musics, I always have a scrolling thing that has the title, that has the artist, that has like the link. And finally, the entire Falcom sound team JDK. They're the guys who make all the music for Falcom games, which includes like Cold Trails series, the E series. They have a thing where they don't even care if you use their music in a commercial. They have like certain rules, but they're totally cool using anybody using their music for stuff.
Nice.
It's all fair use to them. So those
Okay.
are my 3 sources, and
There you go.
yeah.
All right. Well, this
I
leads
don't worry
into
about anything.
This leads into the next discussion with Alex Hutchinson. Streamers worried about getting their content pulled because they use music they didn't pay for should be more worried by the fact that they're streaming games they didn't pay for as well. It's all gone as soon as publishers decide to enforce it. The real truth is the streamers should be paying the developers and publishers of the games they stream. They should be buying a license like any real business and paying for the content that they use. And this sparked a massive discussion among everyone. And there's a lot
I
of
like
takes.
Schreier's response to it.
What was his response?
I don't know. Maybe you're getting flack. I mean, it's amazing to me that people are upset at someone saying that the creators of content should be allowed to make some of the money from other people using their content for profit, to which Schreier then responded to him. I don't know. Maybe you're getting flack because you're picking this particular battle in a world where C-suite executives make $30 million a year and devs don't get royalties, so they'd never see any of that streaming money in the first place.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
And I would agree with that. If you want to pay devs more, instead of trying to charge streamers licensing fees, why don't they get paid better for royalties and things like that?
Yeah.
And one of my, I mean, like, I can understand the argument, and we're gonna discuss it. Where if it's a story-based game and you watch somebody play it, the odds are that maybe you won't be enticed to play it. I can also argue, though, that if you're watching somebody play a story-based game, there's one of 2 things are going to happen. 1, you're interested enough in that to then buy the game yourself, or 2, you probably aren't going to buy the game because you were never going to buy the game anyway.
I'm curious at how I think Twitch has really kind of changed that a lot because there was a lot of really great single player games that have been released recently, and I'm just wondering exactly how much bigger they would have been should a lot of people just weren't watching them on Twitch. and kind of how far that
Weren't
translates.
Spider-Man sales really big? You think they would have been bigger if they weren't allowed to be streamed on Twitch?
I don't
Or
know.
do you think they would have been less?
I don't know.
Because when you see somebody that you like playing a game that's a story-based game and they're like, yo, this game is really great. Story is really good.
I guess it really depends on the type of game. Like if it's really a story, like in my opinion, like Last of Us is a great example of this because it's mainly a story game. It's has great gameplay and stuff, but you're playing the gameplay to for the story. Where I think Spider-Man is more of like kind of like a quest-driven. There's a story there. It's a good story, but it's more of like you want to fight and be Spider-Man. Blah blah blah.
I mean, I thought it was like it would have worked as an MCU film.
Yeah, and I think it really depends on how deep that goes. Like Cyberpunk, there's so many different things you can do in Cyberpunk that you want to play it because you're gonna have your own experience with it, and it's gonna be different from the streamers, as opposed to like everyone that's gonna play a certain game, a certain story game is gonna kind of go down the same path.
When we were talking about this earlier in the pre-show, if the precedent had been set like at the early onset of game streaming, where they did enforce licensing, then this argument, it's harder to then try now, after having the systems in place we have, to then implement a licensing system.
Sure, but you know what? That's why I think this tweet is kind of misconstrued. I think this is more of like a warning from him saying like, it's really just whenever the publishers feel they can do this and get away with it, they're gonna do it. Like I think this is an inevitability.
And that's the thing is, I think the backlash would be, there's a reason why Google has distanced themselves from this. Why even YouTube Gaming, some of the people that work at YouTube Gaming have commented on this, and why it's ratioed so hard. And especially if you're Twitch, like, I mean, we always joke that Twitch caters to only the big streamers. But realistically, if you're a small streamer and they start charging licensing fees, are you going to pay that licensing fee to stream your game to 3 people? Or are you going to then just to say, screw it, go to Discord where you can just share your screen with people and invite those 3 people who are watching anyway just to watch it in Discord? Or is there a rival stream going to come out?
But this is the biggest problem with the all digital future. And it's that you're not buying a game. Like you don't own it anymore. You're not owning anything. You don't own any of that library. You are licensing. Like they can actually enforce this. And dude, these publishers are going to. I think they're going to enforce it.
But what would they do? What would they do to Twitch?
I think they might, but I think that is such a long road down where it's going to be hard just because of the precedent set. Because my biggest counter argument against this is how many sponsored streams do you see of Play My Game?
That's fair.
No.
There's a reason why half of the fucking ads on all of YouTube are Raid Shadow Legends.
Yeah.
Like you can't as a company sit there and have a precedent set of I have spent all of this money on this platform for advertising and then turn around in court and say, oh, but it's no longer advertisement. It's my property now.
Yeah.
Like that's
I'm curious to see. I'm curious to see where this, because I can definitely see this being implemented for like story-driven games.
I think
especially ones that are like.
We're gonna have a story-based games. I think the closest we've gotten to it was Atlas.
It was Nintendo.
Right?
Nintendo.
Well, Nintendo at first, yeah, they've come around actually, but for a while they were going after people on YouTube for playing.
They were doing exactly this. Games. They did exactly.
Yeah,
this.
and the backlash was so severe that they eventually did reverse course on it.
Yeah,
I think Atlas, where they threatened takedowns of channels that were streaming Persona 5 because of spoilers.
Yeah.
Now, did they enforce that? They didn't. But could they have? Absolutely. I mean, that's the thing, is they could have issued those takedowns if they wanted to. It's such an interesting thing, because I feel like if that had happened, if there had been takedowns for that, then the precedent is a little more set for this.
Fair, but I think the issue is if they really wanted to do that, they needed to do that 10 years ago.
Oh, exactly.
That's where the music industry has this precedent. They have this there's a reason why the DMCA came out in what 97, 2000. Like
well, it's the digital millennium.
it is, but I think it came out slightly
It
before
came out
then.
before, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, at the same time when that came out, these streaming services, even Spotify, none of that was even like thought of yet. That,
Oh, no,
and
but
it
I
has
mean,
not
there's-
been updated since.
But I mean, they have that precedent set in court of Napster, of torrent sites, the
yeah.
Pirate Bay. Like they have that precedent of all, here's your backlog of no, this is how we are protecting our copyright. Then on the flip side, you have all of these publishing studios who would be the ones to do it, and I could see it happening on an individual case,
Yeah,
but it's going to be really hard to push through court that, hey, 2 years ago I spent $5 million to get people to play my game on stream, but now I want them to pay me.
And if you're the first game, because it's not going to be like all games, it's going to be some developers, some publishers. Well, it's going to be publishers, really. Some publishers would go through that route. Like, who's going to be the first to do it and to face that backlash and see what happens? To
yeah,
the game
I
in terms
that's
of
what I'm more
sales.
because I think it's more of an inevitability, and I'm curious to know what's the
'Cause
situation.
you know that first one that's going to do it is going to be
Well, they need to weigh.
crucified.
They need to weigh: is it more profitable that we allow them to stream the ending of the game, and that these big streamers that are definitely going to play it are gonna
And how much
we're
do you
going to
charge
miss
a
out on
licensing
all.
fee? Is it a one-time fee? Is it a monthly fee?
Right? They need to
Is it
weigh
the
like
publisher going, hey, all of our games are protected under this. If you pay $5 a month for licensing rights, then you can then stream our game. And then how do you prove that? Our game's gonna have watermarks. Are you gonna have like a freaking like almost like we're back in the DIVX days?
yeah with the water
where
like
the
you're
watermark
using
in the bottom right
Bandicam.
corner.
You're using a free version of Bandicam.
Yeah, are you gonna have that for your $60 title where it says non-licensing fee in the top right or something?
Yeah, I'm very curious to see where this goes.
They would have to work with a
logistics.
platform. They would have to work with a platform for that, I think.
Yeah, and then if you work with that, like, do you have it where you can't capture said program? It'll be blocked, but then, OBS is open source.
I definitely can see the argument of this being an inevitability, but I think it's
a long road to get there,
yeah,
and I think it's a road that's filled with a lot of logistics.
right. Just coming from like the side of like I can see it making sense for them monetarily to try to do that, but it's just the whole idea of precedent set where it's like, so I haven't even been doing it for the last 10 years that Twitch has existed.
Yeah, the
Why has it been okay for 15 years, but now it's suddenly not? That's a hard thing to argue against.
Once physical media is completely dead, there literally is no physical media anymore. That's when this will start to be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I could see that, but even still, that it's partially
It's whenever it's
just 'cause that
profitable.
precedent's already been set. Like that's the way copyright law works. Is you have to defend your copyright to the bone, and if you don't, if you have now 15 years of not defending your copyright, and then go try to say that, hey, no, I have been, and you haven't, they're gonna laugh you out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm curious to know, like, whenever this is profitable, I think they're going to implement it. Because you're right, there's going to be such a huge backlash, but they're going to have to weigh it. They're going to have to weigh against it and see, is it more profitable that we lose out on like everyone watching it and wanting to play off of their streaming it, or are we going to lose out on people watching it and now they don't want to play it? So what's more profitable? And then we have to charge the licensing fee. We have to do all the logistics behind it. We have to make sure we're holding it down correctly. And there's going to be a time, like, that's why I think that this seemed more as like a warning, more so than and I think they're maybe distancing from him because maybe this is something that's coming down the pike, and they just were like, hey, look, we didn't want you going out there saying this so soon. And like, it just seems a little bit ominous to me because he didn't, like, I don't think because the way he was interacting with people didn't seem like he was like doing a take. It seemed like he was saying like, look, this is just what I'm seeing. Like, it makes sense. There's a reason why you're no longer owning your property. They're licensing it to you. We saw this with Nintendo. We're gonna see this in the future. This is not something
I think there is a way there that that's probably going to be a future. It's just going to be there's going to be a lot of holes in it, and there's going to probably be a lot of lawsuits, and that'll be fun to watch, especially.
And if we're
Hey,
honest, like
hey,
streaming is
you know what? Next week, go out and vote out the boomers.
yes, 100%.
Vote out the boomers.
And honestly, like if we think about streaming, it's like still a very small pocket of people. And we saw like AOC and them doing the Among Us stream and how fucking popular that was. It's only gonna get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh,
I'm
no,
imagining
while
like
while his son was doing that, afterwards, he was like, "Yeah, I already had about 4 other politicians reach out trying to do this with me,
yeah,
and it wasn't like a party line split. You know what I mean?"
yeah. This is gonna be it's just gonna get bigger and bigger. And it's what's crazy
Once
is
the
that
boomers hit Twitch.
well, what's crazy is like this is the thing with tech. It's like it's Twitch. You know what I mean? Like it's all Twitch. They're not going to D Live. They're not going to like other streaming platforms. It's like, man, these fucking tech companies have so much power, dude. It's insane.
Well, they do, but here's the flip side of all of that. That is also more realistic to me than this becoming an issue. Is I can more easily see Twitch die than paying for licensing to stream games.
Oh, for sure, for sure. If that became a
And-
norm, if that was a norm, I don't know if it would survive.
Not even with that being the norm. It's just because it's Amazon, dude. Like Amazon cares about profit. Twitch does not make a
Oh,
profit.
you're saying Amazon would just axe them before
Yeah.
anything?
Oh
like
no,
that?
I 100% see a world where Amazon axes Twitch way before we get to this inevitable future.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, or what if Amazon starts buying licenses and just gives them out to the top streamers?
I mean, that's another thing that they could do. Or that's part like once you hit partnership, you have a library available to you or something.
Right. Oh my
But-
god.
Man,
We're getting to a
I've already
crazy
said my piece
future.
in the past about how I
getting to a
really
crazy-
don't think Twitch does all that much for small streamers.
No,
That
they
would just
don't.
nail it. That would just nail the coffin.
Oh no, yeah.
Yeah.
But like,
It would be-
I
it
think
would
about
be-
this.
Amaz-
No, think about
it would
this.
really be if you were not
again
in the big
before
games
any of that
club.
though, Amazon is going to just cut the plug.
Oh yeah.
Because that's the issue that they're having right now, and I could see them. That's why I think they're trying to label so much of it onto the user for liability. Is like right now, Twitch does not make Amazon money. It literally only loses them money, and it is a huge legal liability to them.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Like-
so that's what that's a good point. Twitch is like, Amazon, please.
What's the
We
alternate?
beg of you.
What's that alternate universe where Google bought Twitch?
They don't need. They have
Ugh.
YouTube. That's the alternate future. You
Well,
have
no,
YouTube.
it still works. It would still work better because then YouTube would hopefully be better. But YouTube's been, in fairness, YouTube gaming has been getting better. But Twitch,
Has it?
yeah, a little bit.
I still think
honestly.
when it comes to VODs and stuff like that,
I mean, no,
Twitch
it
is
still doesn't
always
have
gonna
clips.
be-
It doesn't have
Twitch-
anything like that.
well, no, honestly, Twitch is like the king for right now, at least for live gaming. But pre-recorded, the VOD system on Twitch is utter trash. They've buried collections and VODs so deep
Oh yeah, no.
that at this
Twitch
point
is-
you really need to have YouTube just for that.
yeah,
And
no,
to
you
protect it.
do you do both. But like
Is it
YouTube
so
gaming's
expensive,
getting
man?
better, and I can see that future where it's gonna keep getting better. And the biggest reason is YouTube as a platform, and especially for live streaming or VODs, it doesn't matter for any type of video content. Google has a actual monetization strategy for YouTube.
Yeah.
Like YouTube works because Google makes money off ads.
Yeah.
Here is a platform for ads. Amazon does not make money off ads,
Right.
but it now owns a platform for ads.
Yeah, it's a very weird relationship, and exactly, that's exactly right. You're right. No, but Twitch is definitely a huge liability for Amazon, and
Yeah.
yeah, if anything were to come of it, they would probably you would just see it gobble up. Maybe YouTube, but maybe Google would buy it. You know, maybe they would fucking consume it in some way. Because
I mean,
you're
that
right,
might be
Amazon wouldn't hold anything
In the
like that.
weirdest way possible for the future of live streaming, that might even be the best way to go.
Yeah, so that was an interesting take from him. That was like a lot of discussion. I saw a lot of bad takes from it, saying like there was a lot of weird discussion around it. But It's interesting that we are at this weird cross period of streaming where it's like it's on the verge of like this explosion. We're seeing it happen before our eyes, and it's only gonna get bigger and crazier. We're gonna see a lot more like IP2 live shit where it's like people live streaming all around the fucking walking around and shit, and it's only gonna introduce more copyright issues, more like we walk into a store and all that stuff.
Everyone's trying to do live.
Yeah.
Like TikTok has live once you reach 1,000 followers.
Yeah.
We do that a bunch. Like
That's huge.
Instagram TV,
Live,
obviously, Instagram
Facebook.
Live, Reddit does live streaming now.
Yeah, dude. It's insane. Yeah.
Like,
How wild is it that these like all these people got those big contracts from Mixer and Facebook, and now they're all back on Twitch anyway?
I don't think they give a shit because they got all the money.
Yeah. Yeah, I would.
I mean, at the time it was like, oh, that's not a good idea. And then now you realize it's like,
it was a great idea.
that was actually a fucking great idea. You get off Twitch for a little bit.
You just got a free $25 million for a year. Oh, sure, dude.
You cash out. When you come back, you have that big return stream.
It was a great idea.
Tons of people come.
It was a great idea even before. It was just take the money. It's always a good idea to just take the money.
No, yeah, like that's one of those
Strike while
things.
the iron's hot.
Yep.
Well, exactly, because that is the downside to social media, YouTube, and anything like this is like you have a window. So yeah, I mean it's like sports in a way almost of like unless you are PewDiePie, you have a window of like there's gonna be your big 4 years, you know what I mean? So if you can cash out on a 10-year contract, hell yeah, brother.
You better take
Like-
that shit. All right, Billy Mitchell King of Kong. Billy Mitchell sues Twin Galaxies after being stripped of high scores. He sued them, right? And he was claiming that. What was his claim? I forget what happened. This was covered in that documentary, right?
He done didn't cheat.
I don't remember it was covered in that documentary.
I thought it was.
But I remember we covered it. He sued them. I lost the photo.
The defamation suit stems from 2018 when Twin Galaxies announced he did not achieve Donkey Kong high scores on an unmodified arcade hardware. Instead, he was found to use emulation software to achieve his scores. That was a big thing. He modified the PCB of it all.
Yeah,
and he sued them for defamation. And I guess he would have to prove that it wasn't an unmodified board, and he failed to prove that.
Yesterday at 11:08 a.m., I put the picture in there, but neither him nor the defendants appeared, of course. Nature proceedings ruling on submitted matter. The court, having taken the matter under submission on October 15th, 2020, now rules as follows. The court's tentative ruling, defendant's special motion to strike, anti-slap, and defendant's motion for undertaking becomes the final ruling of the court as indicated below and is more fully reflected in the writing ruling, which is signed and filed this date and incorporated herein by reference to the court file. Defendant Twin Galaxies meets its burden to demonstrate that plaintiff is not a California resident and that defendant has a reasonable possibility of success in this action. The court thus grants defendant's motion for an undertaking. Plaintiff, Billy Mitchell, is to post a bond in the amount of $81,225 within 30 days of this order.
Oh, man.
So not only did he try to sue them, he failed and now owes them $81,000 and $225. Like, fuck. I love it. Fuck Billy Mitchell.
Yeah.
Dude is a scumbag. And I'm glad he's getting fucked.
Yeah. Have you seen King of Kong, that documentary?
I've seen it.
Yeah, we've talked about it on the show.
Yeah, he's just a very obtuse character. So when this stuff happens, it's hard to side with him. It's hard to feel bad for the guy. He's a very weird
It's kind
man.
of similar to how Tiger King happened, and then the doc creepy guy made his own documentary, and then 3 days later got arrested.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Mitchell's lawyers are calling this libelous in its face and argue that it asserts that Mitchell did not achieve his record scores legitimately.
I mean, no shit. You didn't show up to court.
He claims that they were recorded on certified arcade boards in front of hundreds of people. Well,
Then you could have brought him to court.
yeah, you could have made your case.
I don't know, dude. That kind of stuff annoys me. Where it's just like, okay, if you can't even bother showing up to your own court trial, just get the fuck out.
Yep. All right. That's it for gaming. I mean, we have here that the Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity is getting a demo.
I get a demo, so if y'all want to check it out, check it out. And if it does happen, I'll definitely check out the demo if it does happen.
Oh hell yeah! I mean, it's Dynasty Warriors. It's fun.
Then the other thing that
It's nothing great, but it's fun.
the other thing that I had that I totally forgot about, but not super important, was Koei Tecmo's financial results. Their financial earnings report does not mention the localization of that Persona 5 Scramble game. It had mentioned it a bunch, but now it doesn't. Now people are thinking, oh, it's not coming here. But
It'll come out when
what it is.
Cyberpunk does.
I mean, COVID. It could be COVID. Just localization is already a bitch as it is.
I don't know. Things will take time. I'm fine with games taking their time right now because, again, we have a fuck ton.
Oh,
Yeah.
you know what? I forgot to tell
absolutely.
you. I watched anime the other day. I
Oh,
watched
God.
an anime about volleyball. Do you know what I'm
On what
talking about?
channel?
On Netflix.
Funny enough, you mentioned Netflix. Apparently, they did a study. 100 million, I think it's like 100 million households, some kind of crazy number, has watched at least one anime on Netflix. Anime has been a huge get for Netflix.
Yeah, I
mean, how do you think Crunchyroll's still a thing?
Yeah, well, I was watching it exactly. I was actually watching it on HBO Max, but they didn't have the dubs or something like that. And then I was like, because I wanted to watch it in the background, and I don't speak Japanese, so you can't do that with anime. So I was like, I'll go to Netflix see if they have the dub, and they did have the dub. And I was watching this volleyball anime, which is great. I forget what it's called. It's called like Hariku or something.
Let me see if I can find the number they shared. Did Netflix share it themselves?
Yeah, it's called Haikyuu.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, IGN reported it 2 hours ago. Anime has become a huge success for Netflix. Over 100 million households globally watched at least one anime title on the platform over the last year.
Yeah.
That's wild.
And they're pretty good. Like, I was going through some of them, and this was one that I landed
My mom
on.
watches nothing but anime on Netflix. Like, she's watching One Piece
Really?
right now.
Your mom watches anime?
Yeah, who do you think introduced me to anime?
Oh, wow. That's amazing. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I watched Akira when I was 8 on
Wow,
Sci-Fi.
that's awesome. Oh, wow, that's cool. Dude, I wish my mom watched anime. Yeah, I watched this one, Haikyuu, which is about this volleyball team, and it's a very weeb rendition of volleyball. If you can imagine, like, Dragon Ball Z, but instead of fighting people, they did volleyball. This is kind of what it is, and it's pretty good. All right. Of course, he's the chosen one, and he has to go to assemble a crackpot of people who are also the chosen one. They all figure out that they're chosen one. They're all the chosen one at the end. They all win, of course.
Yeah, the last anime I watched was I watched the second half of season 2 of My Hero Academia, which was good. Not as good as the first half.
Let me ask you, because I want to watch more. I've been watching anime as I read, actually. What is a good anime that is sort of slice of life, but also sort of, I don't know how to explain it. Just like a good anime with like some resemblance of reality to it, if that makes sense. Like some shred of realness.
Okay.
I know it's tough because I was trying to look for
Do you
one.
want
I
it
couldn't
to
find
be
any.
depressing?
Yeah, I don't mind.
Yeah, that's a good question. You
Yes.
want it to be depressing?
Sure, I honestly do not mind.
Oh god, that's slice of life.
Kids on the Slope,
Slice
if
of
you
Life
want it
is
to be
not-
depressing.
What is it called?
Is
Kids on the Slope.
slice of life is not my general go-to. The last slice of life I watched was fucking Love Live,
Love
which
Live.
was idols. It's about high schoolers wanting to be idols.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're fine
Not
with it
bad.
being slightly depressing, Kids on the Slope.
All right, I'll check that one out.
It's fantastic, but
I don't mind depressing, like as long as it's got some, because like they get too super fantasy and it's hard to keep track.
I generally go for science fiction and action, as
Yeah.
well as somewhat. Giant robots are my thing.
Yeah, sure.
Like Evangelion, Gurren Lagann, Gundam, and then like any shonen stuff. So like Dragon Ball Z, like My Hero Academia, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's my go-to.
Yeah, there was one that was recommended that that was like, maybe I should start watching some anime. I forget what it was.
Like it's hard because like comedy. I also like comedy, but like the last one I watched that was like that was pure comedy was The Devil's a Part-Timer. And it's not bad. It just ends on a filler episode, and you could tell they were trying to do a season 2, and they never did a season 2.
Oh, that sucks.
But it's a funny premise, and it was enjoyable for most of it. It just was a shame that it ended on a filler episode.
Yeah. Oh, maybe this was it. Kakaguri or something? I forget what it's called.
Toradora, maybe. That could be more slice of lifey.
Toradora. All right, I'm gonna check out this Kids in the Slope. One of my favorite ones was Golden Boy. That was like my favorite anime. And I kind of
that's a wild one.
I want
think
more
you can
like
make
that.
that now. Actually,
No, probably not. Probably not. But I want more like that. Oh, sorry, Netflix fucking autoplay. All right, so that's that. And let's get into for some tech. Do you have the stuff on the AMD, Jerry?
Yeah, I put
I
it
don't
in there,
see it.
but it looks like it got deleted. Throw it in there again.
Let me see. I'll do the AMD stuff first.
I'll throw it in the chat too. There you go. Throw it in all the chats. Basically, we're starting to see leaks of these new Ryzen processors, and they're kind of nutty. If any of these leaks are true, they're actually absurdly nutty.
All right, let me see here. I haven't seen these yet. Ryzen 5 beating out 10900K on Passmark.
Like by 10%.
Oh god.
Like
What the fuck?
And Passmark is like notably famously Intel biased.
Yeah, this is the single core one.
And this is straight single threaded performance, which has always been the weak spot of Ryzen.
Yeah.
And it's beating a 1099K by 10%.
Wow.
For the $300 cheap one. Like so this is in the realm of it could be faked, but if this has any resemblance of truth, they're
well, even if it's close to it, even if it's slightly less than it. That's a $300
Dude,
chip.
it could be 8% less than it this score, and it's still better than any Intel processor, period.
Yeah, this is crazy. I wonder what that means for the 7 and the 9.
Yeah. This is the 6-core.
See, this sucks because now this makes me
$300.
want to fucking make a whole new build.
I probably will, to be honest. Probably going to buy the cheapest ARM MacBook that I can get with 32 gigs of RAM, and then everything else is going into a new desktop.
Yeah, this makes me want to do a new build, man. I want to do a streaming
Like,
build, a real good
Okay,
streaming build.
imagine that. So for $300, you can have literally better than a 1099K, which is by far the best gaming CPU. You're not going to be CPU bottlenecked, and slap that with like a 3070 for maybe like $1,200.
Yeah, and then 3070 here. Let's just show like one of the benchmarks.
Like for that $1,000 to $1,200 price market, holy shit, dude! We're getting into
this year has been amazing.
You're crushing 1440p, and you could probably do like 4K.
Well, the 3070, it looks like it can do 4K pretty adequately.
Yeah,
As long as you're not like topping it off ultra all the time.
Right, it'll run it, and then if you want ultra all the bells and whistles, like
Just go 1440.
cool for $1,000 with like a Ryzen CPU and a motherboard will cost you like $500. Get the $500 graphics card, then cheapest case, decent power supply that you can get, and hard drives for like an extra $100 to $200, and congratulations, you can run any game at ultra 1440p 144 hertz.
It's pretty insane. This has been a crazy fucking year. Like, this is nuts. This is pretty nutty.
We're finally there. Everything's a little bit too expensive, and you can't get your hands on it.
Right,
But we're
that's the
finally
problem.
there.
That's the problem. Now, what's crazy is like we are hitting 4K territory where it's like 4K is almost affordable. I would like to see, I would say next generation we were getting an affordable 4K.
I think we will. Right now the problem isn't the graphics cards, it's the monitors.
Yeah, true.
Like that's the problem at the moment is there's not really good there's very, very few good 4K gaming panels, and if the
They're
few
like
that there
1,500.
exist are don't waste your money.
Yeah, they're like $1,500 too. You can get a TV for that, like
Or
that will actually do good 4K.
That's for your 60 hertz.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
right.
Like,
Yeah, no, that's true. The monitors need a little bit of a refresh. We're starting to see some of that good stuff coming in the HDMI 2.1. They're all doing the new TV reviews now with 2.1 because of the new consoles. I'm actually in the market. I'm probably gonna get a new TV Black Friday. Take the one that's in my theater and put that one in my room. It's usually what I do, and then rotate them. And then I give my parents my bedroom TV. And we're getting into some crazy cool stuff, and it's looking like it's not too expensive like it used to be.
And then there's going to be the AMD cards that are about to drop too, that all the rumors are still on the train of 3080 for a little bit more than a 3070.
Yeah.
So we can really be getting into that mode of like add some sales and you have $1,000 computer that is god tier.
Yeah.
From any previous generation.
And like this is from Gamers Nexus stock, Founders Edition 3070 Red Dead Redemption 2, which runs barely runs 1440p on a 1080 Ti. Yeah, it says here 44 frames per second. That's about what I get on my 1080 Ti. 3070 running it at above 60 frames on average. Like that's
you can build
legit.
an entire computer now that will run better than a 2080 Ti for less money than a 2080 Ti.
Yeah. This is
Oh
pretty
yeah,
legit.
that's why you don't buy a 2080 Ti, boys.
This is pretty legit. This is pretty legit.
And I mean, especially if Ryzen actually is coming out as strong as it looks, and then if their graphics cards do good, but if not 3070 or 3070 aftermarket cards, and I've already seen rumors that NVIDIA already has.
Imagine if you bought a 2080 Ti.
Yeah, I'm sorry. No, there's rumors that NVIDIA already has 2 models of TI cards ready
Really?
because it sounds like AMD. It sounds like.
So
This is the weird
3090
thing.
Ti would it be?
No, for the AMD cards.
Oh,
It sounds like
AMD's
they're
coming
more-
out with a Ti version?
No, NVIDIA. NVIDIA's already ready to do the super bullshit again because they didn't release a good enough card for what AMD's going to release.
Oh, so they're going to have another like a 3080 Super next year,
They're
they're
gonna-
saying.
Yes, but probably it might be even sooner. It sounds like they have a 3070 Ti like waiting.
Oh, okay. That makes no sense.
Yeah.
That makes no sense. For what? 3 or 550 they're going to charge for it?
Yes. It's like that because and fucking NVIDIA, dude.
They
Because
don't
I mean,
need to
I think
do that.
but
They
the
don't
fact
need
that
to
I'm
do
hearing rumors that they're already making TIs, hey, that does maybe lead some credence that maybe the AMD stuff actually might be good again.
Yeah, I'm very
It's not going to
curious.
be 3090 Ti bullshit. It's a Titan levels, but like,
No,
if
but
you can
if it's
compete
30,
against the 3080 for
Yeah.
cheaper,
yeah, because I'm looking at a 3080. I'm looking at a 3080, and if AMD can give me a 3080 cheaper, I'm gonna probably go with that.
and then they force NVIDIA to make a 3070 Ti for cheaper. That's basically the same thing.
Yeah, and maybe you can actually get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, dude, there's a lot of people that are like, I want to get a 3080, but if this comes out and I can actually get it because they actually have some sort of stocked flow, then I'm gonna just go with like. There's a lot of people in that boat. Now there are some like video codec, like nerdy video codec stuff that NVIDIA does do better,
Yes.
but I mean,
Same with
people have
Intel
been
with
harping
FreeSync.
on AMD on this for a while, so maybe they can fit. Like, we're just waiting to see, and it's tomorrow. We get to find out tomorrow.
True. I wouldn't expect those things immediately, but they've AMD AMD was not in a good spot, and I think they're trending towards a better spot, but they're still definitely not to that level of polish of NVIDIA.
For video codecs?
I mean, for
For
everything,
everything?
for like
Oh, yeah.
video codecs, driver stability, but
Right,
like,
right, right.
but at the same time, it does seem like they're working towards that, and they actually are genuinely trending towards maybe not immediately at launch, but maybe in another year, you're gonna have that same feeling of buying Nvidia that it'll just work.
Yeah. I mean, that would be my only reservation for someone thinking about like a 30 like a RX 6000 over the 3070. I'd be like, well, depending on what you do, you might actually want to go with the 3070. But we got to see. We got to see what Nvidia's pulling out. I mean, it's pretty interesting, man. Imagine we can actually get a legit all red build that is legit, is actually legit. That would be nice to see. That would actually put
And
some
you can get
pressure
a
on both markets.
really good 1440p 144 hertz monitors for like $300 now.
Oh yeah, there's so many of them. There's so
I
many.
mean, there's a shit ton, and then like if you're willing to spend like 350, 400, you can even get them on the IPS now, like 100% sRGB, like 95% P3.
Yeah.
Sure, sure, dude. I mean,
And if you want
that's what
4K, I mean, even if you want 4K, you go 3080. There's some 4K options. You're not spending like 8 to 9 grand like you were like 2 3 years ago. Like
no,
it's so much
that's
more
definitely
affordable now.
that's definitely true. It's just still not.
That's kind
I'm
of where I'm at.
still.
I'm kind of on the 4K train.
I haven't lived that life
That's
yet.
fair. I'm not yet, and it's mostly just because panel choice. Like I'm still on the. I want 4K for work, and as a second monitor, but I for pure gaming, I'd much rather just give me the 1440p at like 140 frames.
Sure, yeah.
Like once we actually really start seeing, hey, maybe like $500 you can get a 100 hertz 4K panel, I'll
Yeah.
be more interested in it for on the gaming side. But until then, I'm gonna want that on the side for like doing work, but not for playing games. But that is a personal preference. So just 60
Yeah.
hertz sucks,
And like here, like if you're looking at a 4K 144 hertz, you're looking at like over $1,000.
and they're still not even like good. Like that's the hard part. It's taken a long time for 1440p to get to like that sweet spot of like here's an IPS panel that's 144 hertz. It's color accurate.
Mhm.
Like it's still not there yet. Like if they when they start getting some of those, hell yeah, I'm gonna start being more interested.
Yeah.
But and that's just for gaming. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's pretty exciting. The 3070 looks pretty legit. And then we're gonna find out what
I mean the 3070s, but all intents and purposes, it's 2080 Ti for $500.
yeah. Yeah, I've seen one or two benchmarks where it slightly underperforms it, and we're talking like an overclocked AIB board.
Right, and you're still talking in like single digit percentages.
Yeah, and this is the stock Founders Edition, which seems to be the way to go. Actually, is the Founders Edition ones. They seem to be really well managed.
Like Rainbow Six Siege, 3070 FE stock, 143.7 frames per second, 2080 Ti stock, 143.6 frames per second.
Yeah, you know, I'm looking at my 1080 Ti. I'm like, wow, there's so much more performance here.
No, there is, and there wasn't in the last gen. That's
No,
what
no.
sucked.
Yeah, it was from the 20 series. It was just kind of like there's really not too much for me to upgrade. But now when you look at the graph, you're like, holy shit, man. If I upgrade from my 1080 Ti to a 3070, I mean, goes at least here Rainbow Six Siege. Let's go let's go to Red Dead because I play a lot of stuff like this. 4K. I mean, it goes from unplayable to playable essentially. And 4K, that's insane. And then we go to Horizon. Let's do 4K Horizon. And it goes from 80 up to over 100 frames per second, 1440.
Oh yeah, and when you actually go to 1440, you start seeing like, oh yeah, it's pushing 115, 120 in ultra. That's where I want to live.
Hell yeah. That's pretty impressive.
I'm much rather live there than like
Dude, you can play
42 frames per second 4K.
you can play Horizon at 4K on this custom quality preset at 70 frames per second on the 3070.
That's true.
That's nutty. You're not even cracking 60 on a 1080 Ti aftermarket EVGA overclocked fucking motherfucker. And then you look at the 3080 and the 3090, and they're just blowing these doors off of me. It's pretty intense. And then we're talking like where Ryzen's at, and there's so much more performance that if you upgraded last gen, it kind of stings. If you bought a 2080 Ti, damn, dude, like that definitely stings. Especially considering like we don't even know where the Radeon's at. Like that could even be even a better deal. And then if you bought like a fucking 2080 Ti and then like an Intel 9700K, oh man, like you got the short end of the stick there.
I told you so.
Yeah, you got the short end of the stick there.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely 3070 looks as good as we thought it would be. I'm still hopeful for AMD, but the bigger news for me still is that fact that Ryzen might just kill Intel. If some of these benchmarks have,
I mean, they look a little wacky. They look a little wacky.
They do. Like that's where I'm like not ready to completely believe. Like I'm not ready to believe them. But if they come anywhere close to this, that's
Yeah, it's awesome.
absurd.
Yeah.
And then you imagine that's the same type of process that Apple's, using, and same manufacturer. Like,
Well, that's why
so what's they gonna do?
these consoles are talking about like 4K 120. I'm just like, there's no fucking way they're doing 4K 120. But now it's starting to make a little bit of sense, especially if they're like optimized for the game. The games aren't really pushing that much detail. Like they're not like super Horizon Zero Dawn level graphics, but they still look good. 4K 120 on a console is just maybe that is something that we see. You know what I mean? Maybe that is future. It's definitely going to be a 4K 60 future. Just going by what the 3070 is. So if the RX 6000 is somewhere in that ballpark, 4K 60 medium to high is definitely doable. So these consoles are going to be pretty impressive too, man.
Yeah. And there might be a 3080 Ti and a 3070 Ti to make them all even crazier. It might be a 3060 Ti and a 3080 Ti.
Is that what it is now? 3060? 3060 Ti?
What? Yeah. Sure, dude. I fucking hate Nvidia.
I love them. I love it.
Like, no, I do love them, but it's like,
Keep doing
why,
that.
dude?
Keep doing that. Whatever you're doing, Jensen, keep fucking doing. Well, how about them competing with their own board partners and holding back, not giving them the fucking boards until like the last second, and then only giving the review units a Founder Edition card. Nvidia just doesn't give a fuck, man.
Here you go, man.
Let me see.
The same Passmark people apparently did do the $800 Ryzen 9.
All right, let's see.
I would still probably buy the Ryzen 5 at this, but yeah.
This doesn't even make sense. Well, I guess it does because the single thread would make sense.
No, well, I don't know because single thread's what AMD's historically sucked at.
Well, I'm saying at least the Ryzen 9 versus the 5. It kind of makes sense. They wouldn't be that too far apart.
But versus Intel, that is what seems so fucking wacky.
Yeah. Well, the Ryzen 5 versus the 10900 is crazy.
I mean, the Ryzen 5's apparently 110% of an Intel, and a Ryzen 9's 116% of an Intel.
Yeah.
That's nuts. Especially if Intel doesn't drop pricing.
No, that's just crazy. Wow, look at where the 3950 is compared to the
3950 is about 7% better than the Ryzen 5 and 16% better than an i9 10900K.
Wow, look at these
But this is still one party, one person. Who knows if this is actually true? But if that's what you're talking about for stock speeds, that's absurd.
Yeah, it might be. Ah, man, should I wait? I do want to build like a streaming rig, and this would fit perfect in there.
And if you're going off of multi-core, it's not the Threadripper levels yet, but it's competitive with them. Like the OG cheaper epics.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. Well, how many cores versus the 3960X from the 5950?
Oh, it's half.
It's half the cores, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Oh, well, wait. The 3950,
3960.
the 39s, I'm pretty sure that's half.
It's a
39
24 core.
I can't remember I haven't checked out Threadripper in a while. 'Cause
24
it's just
core.
too insane.
And then the Ryzen 9 5950 is what? 12 cores, right? Or is it 16 cores? 5950X. And that is a specs. That's a 16 core. 16 core is nearing. I mean, how much of a percentage difference is that from the 24 core? It actually goes in line with it. It makes sense. It makes pretty.
Yeah, the
pretty
the
sense.
the Threadripper there is a 16 core, the lowest one, the 3955.
Yeah. Oh, then the 3960 is the 24 core.
Yeah. So it's
Oh man, the 5950 looks pretty intense, man. And then
Yeah.
it has the highest single core score. What the fuck? That's insane. Now $800 is a pretty penny for a CPU. And then you got to factor in the MOBO.
Yeah.
I would like to see the full. Well, we're just gonna have to wait, I guess, until we start to
Let's
see more
keep
stuff.
it.
I want to see some more. I want to see some more like Ryzen 7s and 5 benches.
Sam, here, 1 second. There has apparently been more on Geekbench, so I'm going to try to investigate
All right.
in real time here. Sorry, Kate was showing me my cat in a bag. So that was cute. No, because people are saying, what? Forget it. I want to search browser. Okay. Yeah, okay, actually get top single core. Let's see that. Yeah, dude. It might kill things.
What are you looking at?
I mean, if you're going off of Geekbench.
What's the scores? I don't have it up.
So I'm going off of like top single core results. Like all of the top are AMD engine samples in an iMac Pro 1.1. Whatever that is. 16 core AMD chip in someone's Hackintosh. I like that.
Interesting.
But I'm trying to look for like average 10 900K scores is like about 1,456. Looks to be about the average
Yeah.
for a single core score at Geekbench. The 5950X is averaging about 1641.
Yeah.
That's huge in Geekbench. And it's like 14,000 to 11,500 for multi-core.
And the 5800, the Ryzen 7 is around the same.
Yeah. Might be time to upgrade to do a new Ryzen chip. That's kind of nutty.
And then tomorrow we find out the graphics. We see what the graphics situation is like.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still, I don't know, I'm cautiously optimistic for the graphics, but
Yeah, I'm not expecting much. I'm not
Yeah.
expecting to be blown away. But
if they can actually match and possibly surpass a little bit,
yeah.
excuse me, I'll take it, dude. Like, I'm
I mean, what
Hell
would be
yeah,
the
let's
best
see it,
case
dude.
scenario for them is a 3070 price with 3080 performance.
oh yeah, if
That
they
would be the
do
best
that,
case
like,
scenario. Or like near 3080 performance. As long as it's better than
then
the
hell yeah,
3070.
buy it, dude, because it's gonna have some type of ray tracing. It won't have DLSS, which
It won't have
does
like
seem
the
like it's
NVIDIA bells and whistles, that's all.
right, which it does seem like is improving. But again, don't buy these fucking cards for that.
Yeah.
Literally, the only fucking game is Control and Minecraft, and you can't even do it on Minecraft half of the time because they took away all of the fucking servers that can run it.
Yeah.
So don't buy this shit for ray tracing. But they'll both be able to do it eventually at some point.
Yeah. I would say the only reason to go for NVIDIA is if you want the NVIDIA bells and whistles.
And some stability, or if you need CUDA cores.
Yeah, I'm adding all of that. All, like the
Yeah.
video stuff, the codec stuff, all the stability stuff. If you
Yeah.
like that NVIDIA world, then it definitely makes sense to go for it. But if you just want like raw performance, then we're gonna see. We're gonna see if they take that crown at
True.
at that
And
3070 pricing.
I don't think they're gonna do this, but what I think they really, really should do, which would be really big in my opinion, is we're expecting to see the top end cards here again, right? We're expecting to see the 5700 successor and the 68 or whatever. So it's going to be the 3080 and the 3070 level performance cards. If they actually really wanted to like wow me, I think they should launch like the 5600 also, or like the 6600. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like launch that, say, cool, here's our 3080 competitor for $500, and then instead of any other card, have that as your top card, and then go, cool, for $300, here is almost a 2080 Ti.
Yeah.
Like,
The worst thing they can do is say, here is a 3070 level performer at a 3080 price. I think that would be the worst case scenario for them.
oh yeah, and I think they're smart enough not to do that because, I mean, their CEO has completely turned that company around. I think she's smart enough to not do that. But no, but I mean, I think if they actually really wanted to shock me and like wow me and get a lot of that market share back, that's what they should do. It's like, cool, here's our sort of competes with a 3080 and it's cheaper. And by the way, here's the card that competes with a 3070 and it's $100 or $150 cheaper.
Yeah.
Like launch that 2060 at $350 that competes with the 3070. You would sell it like fucking crazy.
Yeah, and make sure you have some stock. Please. Please make sure you have stock.
Yeah.
I don't know if I haven't seen AMD have any issues with that stuff recently, but I don't. Who knows, man?
Yeah.
They could sell out immediately.
Like I said, I don't expect them to do that, and by any means, you know what I mean. And that's not that. I doubt that will ever happen, but I think that's what they tried to do with the 50 or the 4800, and that's why that card was so kick-ass. That's why the 5800 was so kick-ass. You know what I mean? They came out and were like, okay, well, here for $200, you are not going to beat this. And that card's probably the best selling card of all time. You know what I mean?
They have
Or one of
they
them.
have a good chance now since there is no 3060 right now.
Right. And I don't think they're going to launch a 3060. But that's what I would do if I was them, is like, hey, dude, here's that $300 graphics card that is pushing towards the $500 graphics card of our competitor. That
Yeah.
would sell like fire.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a
Especially when you're
1440 gamer, then you wouldn't need anything else.
Right. And especially because what's aimed, or the only thing NVIDIA has to compete with that at this moment is like, well, we could sell you a 2060 Super that's now obsolete for $400.
Yeah.
Like,
No, they don't have anything. They would be fucked. The only
That's-
thing
I'm
they
not-
would have is the 3070, which does make a good case because it's a pretty badass card.
no, it does.
But
But if you
it
could,
is more expensive. That's the only.
but if you could cut that price by 100, like by 20% or 30%, and still get similar performance, like,
yeah.
shit, dude.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see what they got.
Yeah.
Because these
I got,
Ryzen
like, yeah.
stuff, this Ryzen
That's
series
that's
has
a
been
dream.
awesome.
That's just my dream world of like, that's where I want to see. That's why I want AMD to be back. I want that real competition of like, okay, cool, you launched your cool shit. I'm gonna try to undercut you massively, or I'm going to try to overperform you. You know what I mean?
I
of the-
personally, I would like to see them. I would like to see a 3080 at a 3070 price, somewhere in that realm. That would be. I would be
Yeah.
like, wow, that's pretty dope. Because I'm looking at the 3080, and if I can pick something up similar to that, I might actually consider it. And I might.
no,
like
and
a Radeon would
that's-
be sick to have because I haven't had a Radeon.
yeah,
Who knows how long since I don't even remember the last fucking Radeon I had.
yeah, no, like, and that's what I'm expecting us. What we're gonna get tomorrow.
Yeah, I hope
That's what all of the rumors align to, is like, hey, 550 and it'll be close to a 3080.
Yeah, that would
We'll
be pretty
see
cool.
how good those leaks are. But that's where I'm sitting here like, that would have been an even more baller move though, is if you had both of those cards. If you were like, okay, cool,
Oh yeah,
our
for sure.
here's our 3080 top tier competitor. It's kick ass, whatever, for the enthusiasts. And then you came in under and we're just like, here's the card for the masses, and you have a 6-month lead on NVIDIA.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get why they're not doing that, because that is the bread and butter market. That's where you make your money. You know what I mean? It's
AMD is also buying a rival chip maker Xilinx in a $35 billion deal. So it might be a smart idea to be investing in Amazon or AMD right now.
yeah. No, they were making their own ARM-esque acquisition.
Interesting.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I'm less excited for that than NVIDIA buying ARM.
Oh, for sure. But this is exciting if you want to invest
Oh,
in some
but
stuff.
yeah. I don't know. I'm definitely super excited for all of that. Very, very interested to see how this all goes tomorrow. And whenever we get like the actual AMD chips coming out, because, oh boy.
And then we're gonna start to see these Apple Silicon chips. We're gonna see
Yeah,
where
like,
they're at in the race.
I might not buy a camera now because I'm going to buy a MacBook and a new computer instead. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, that'll set you back a little bit.
Yeah.
That'll set you back.
Well, no, that's why have been putting it off, is like, do I want a new camera? Yes. Is the new Fuji stuff really tempting because it's cheap at least? Yes. But the MacBook definitely makes me more money.
Yeah, go with the
The
Mac.
gaming computer also definitely makes me more money.
I know you'll use the gaming computer a lot more than the camera.
For now, yeah.
Yeah, you'll
Until
get
until we're out of the current world pandemic situation, definitely, yeah.
And honestly, it's not looking like we're getting out of that anytime soon.
Yeah. So that's why I've been putting it on the back burner of just like, no, I have to buy a MacBook first, and Daddy might get a new gaming computer now.
Yeah, there's some there's a lot of money to be spent. I mean, there's so many cool things you can get right now. It's just, can you get it? We'll see.
Yeah, true.
That's the problem. Can we actually
I'm
get some of these things?
very close to buying a microphone before it goes out of stock, even though I know I probably shouldn't buy it. But
I would wait.
well.
I would wait. From what I've heard from it, I'll take a little deeper look at it. I've only watched a couple videos on it, and I was just like, I don't know if I like the sound. It does sound too processed, but in some videos or in some scenes, I was like, wait, this actually does sound pretty good.
I think it depends on really how much of the processing you're using on it, and if you were using the built-in software or actual good software.
Yeah, and I'm just curious as like where that is in the $200 range. Like I would have to look at other $200
No, yeah.
mics.
Well, it's one of those. Okay, so for people to fill people in,
What's it called?
the
The
Shure
SMV?
MX Motive MX7 came out,
M7?
or M7,
MV7, I think, right?
MV7,
Sure,
It's a new
MV7. Yes, Shure
MV7. Okay, yeah, it's a new Shure microphone, $250. I think it's a little overpriced, but if you could see like a Black Friday sale getting it down to 200, I'd be very, very interested. Just because it's in that same realm of like a Rode Procaster or Podcaster.
Yeah.
Like, and basically what it is it's a mic designed for podcasting, but it's Shure's own attempt at ripping off an SM7B,
Yeah.
but that you don't also need to spend another $500 to power.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I think that's genuinely like, I think it might be a little overpriced, but conceptually, I really love the idea of it. If you could have like a easy to power mic that can give you, say, 90% of that signature sound that you can just throw in a laptop bag and take with you wherever, that's intriguing,
Yeah.
especially compared to a lot of low powered options that are available. There are some that are really good, but there's nothing that's anything like in a 7B. There's nothing like it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want to hear more from it. I want to hear more, because I'm really like in that, like that's a pretty competitive range. The
No, it
250
is because
pound.
you got the Procaster, you got the Podcaster,
You have like those Audio
you got Audio
Technica ones.
Technicas. Yeah, you have Audio Technica's higher stuff. You're in the low end of like Rode NTGs. Also, you got the highest end of blue crap. You have
Yeah.
some low end like Hankels and stuff. Like there's a lot of really good microphones in that market.
Yeah. I would have to see fucking Curtis Judd do like a full fucking breakdown on it.
But like what intrigues me the most though is even though there are a lot of good options in that market, they're all have their own quirks, and this does as well. But I'm curious to see if I think this has the potential to solve more of those quirks on an ease of use side.
Yeah, and
If that
I
makes
like
sense.
how you can just plug it in USB if you want. You can plug it into a
Right.
phone.
Like you can plug it into a phone, you can plug it into an iPad, you can plug it into any laptop, you can use it as USB, you can use it as straight XLR into an actual powered rig. Like it has that versatility and ease of use that does make it more intriguing to me that like a Rode Podcaster does. You know what I mean? But if it has that sound that's better than a Rode Podcaster,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Because all of the good mics in that range, they start either you're in the price range there of you're sacrificing the versatility of you have to go powered XLR setup, or you're going with a high end Blue Yeti, but you're getting all of the ease of use, but you're not getting the sound quality.
Yeah, and you're not getting like that upgradability.
Right. So if this has that middle ground of cool, when you're on the road, you can toss it in your bag and it's still going to sound pretty damn good. But then when you get home and you hook it up to a proper studio setup, does it sound amazing?
Yeah.
Like
That's what's cool about it.
Right. That's the dream mic. Is you want like that's the dream mic is an affordable option that sounds amazing, that is adaptable basically.
Yeah.
I don't think this is it there yet. But from what I've heard of it, it sounds, I mean, if you saw this thing drop to like $200, hell yeah, I'd scoop this thing up.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to listen to some more reviews on it. Cuz I heard it a couple times. I was like, "Wow, it does sound pretty close to the SM7B."
No, yeah, you can definitely make it sound similar. And I mean,
It's pricey. I mean, it's not super
It is-
cheap,
right, but it's not in that.
but it's also
Yes,
not
it is an expensive microphone and it does sound good, but compared to a lot of the other streamer options of like what you got,
Yeah, like the
Razer,
SM7B is
you
not
got-
a 5. It's not how much is it? $500, I think.
well, yeah, but I mean, even compared to like streamer options, it's not that much more expensive. Of like the high quality streamer crap that you can just plug in and play. Like you have you have your HyperX at 180, you have a Blue at 100 and 200 and 250. You have Razer making shit mics
Yeah,
for
those are all
160 bucks.
Yeah, that would definitely choose this one over any of those, yeah.
Oh yeah, but like if you're gonna spend that much on an easy to use mic instead, this one actually sounds good. But the flip side is, yes, if you can get it for 200, it's a deal. But like a 7B, you're setting yourself back 400, 450. But then
It's like
you have to
$500.
power it,
Yeah, you have to have like you have to power it in some way.
right? And then you have to power it well, and then also have a good way of converting that analog signal to a digital signal.
Well, if you don't have a DAC already, you have to get a cloud. There's no like consumer DACs that can power it. You would have to get a cloud lifter or the dynamite thing that I have, and that's an extra $100. So you're looking at like a $500 mic altogether, plus the
And
XLR
that's-
cable. You want a good XLR cable. You want a
And
stand.
that's still not getting everything you could out of that mic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there is something to be said of, cool, you can spend 200, 250 bucks and bam, you're done for now. You have something that is by far good enough. But down the road, if you want to invest that extra 200, 300 bucks, you could get that little bit more out of it. That's more intriguing to me, I guess.
Yeah.
Or I think will be to the market.
I think if you can get $200, then definitely consider it.
Oh yeah, like
Over
that's what
any of the
that's what
other
I'm curious
options.
about. If this never drops to 200, I'm much less excited about it because then there are like, you do have options there. You do have Rode, you do have Audio Technica. You know what I mean? You do have a lot of other good options at that price point. That's
what I was thinking. Like, is it better to just spend like $100 on like an Audio Technica XLR mic and then like $150 on like a good DAC or something if you didn't have it?
yeah.
I don't
And
know.
if
I'd
you,
have to
if
listen.
you didn't want to do that route, like, you can buy a Blue Yeti for $100 or an Elgato Wave thing. You know what I mean? And
Right.
they're good enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right, let's
But
wrap it up. Let's wrap this up.
Okay.
Time to get out of here. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in to the show. Every Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Next week, we're going to come at you with the AMD stuff and hopefully some other news that comes out in this world of the pandemic. If not, if there's not a lot of news, we will be coming at you with our favorite chain restaurants. That is correct. Favorite chain restaurants of our lives. Okay? So be ready to tune in for that. We'll catch you guys later. Head over to our website, nolife.digital, and make sure you're following us on YouTube /NoLifeDigital. Peace!